I have one of the most amazing jobs. One, I'm South African. Two, I get to sell what I love, and I live to sell what I love. And I stand here with absolute humility. South Africa, and I'm going to talk to you as if you've never been to South Africa, because I do these presentations almost every second day, and I get asked, I will do a 2-hour conversation, and somebody will ask me, how do I get to Kenya? And I'm like, 2 hours afterwards, I've just spoken. So I just want to tell you, we are somewhere here, right? I'm talking to you as if you've never seen Africa or the world. Not because you are delinquents, but I just want to show you, this is the world. Half of Europe, South America fits into Africa. We are somewhere here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Africa, right? I'm just talking to you, please. This is not an insult you, and I'll explain to you why as I get through. 54 countries, 54 countries, 54 African countries, 54 different policies, different governments, borders, with roads, with electricity. It is called Africa, ladies and gentlemen. This is Africa. I, as a South African tourism delegate or a staff member, cannot control what happens in the rest of Africa. Do I work with Africa? Absolutely. Why am I telling you this? 90% of the time, people who book a trip to South Africa or on your behalf as a corporate will book you a trip, and they say, you know what, let's combine South Africa with a bit of Zimbabwe, which seems easy. You get onto a car, you drive across the border, you've got your visa, you've got your passport, boom! You can't come into the country. Why? You've got a single entry visa. You've got a single entry visa, and guess what the tour operator does? Miss Neliswa, Nkani, I've got a problem. I'm sitting on the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe. I've just seen Vic Falls, and I need to come and do the Big 5 experience in South Africa. I said, right, what's the problem? I've got a single entry visa. Right, I can't help you, goodbye. It's a reality. It sounds ridiculous. Guess what? You've paid $500,000 US for an incentive. They're stuck in Zimbabwe. They can only transit and go home. And that is why I'm putting the slide here. 54 different countries governed by 54 different policies. I cannot help you if you're stuck in any of these countries from a visa perspective. Nor can I help your delegates. We'll kindly accept that you've transited. We'll count your numbers of 400, 500 packs that came in. Did you stay? No. Can I refund your money? Absolutely not. Again, I'm telling you this because I'm understanding that these are corporates. Ask and double check, is it a multiple entry visa? That's all, and that's why I went to the sliders, pretend you don't know the world, okay? Now, this is Africa, ladies and gentlemen. This is the African continent, and the country name that I represent is South Africa. Again, it sounds like I'm being rude. South Africa happens to be sitting on the southern tip of Africa. The name of my country is South Africa. Those who know it very well will call it Mzansi, meaning South Africa. Mzansi means bottom. It is a country on the southern tip of Africa. Okay? Are we all good? Are we happy? Okay. So, now, we are one of the few countries, if only not the only country, that has got a country with 2 countries inside it. Lesotho, independent of South Africa. Perfect destination for an African skiing opportunity. You can ski here in June. Very few people know about it. The people who sell your incentives will not tell you about this. It's literally 4 to 6 hours away from the rest of the north of South Africa. Swaziland, gorgeous, beautiful. Within South Africa, it's a 2 to 3 hour drive from Johannesburg, okay? Which means if you are doing an incentive or you are coming on a holiday, most people, I don't know about you, I love ticking bucket list. And I like optimizing. So I can do a whole trip in the north, and I'll show you. And I can come in here, do a little bit of a skiing thing in June, July. get out, I've checked 2 countries. Or drive through, go here. Or drive from Durban, 90 minutes down the line, I'm in Mozambique, which is the Maldives of Africa. Okay? So, those 2 countries are enclaved. You need your visas. We are independent. They are easy to get through. You don't even need to fly to Swaziland and or to Lesotho because they are 4 to 5 hours away, which is the same distance from some of the cities, provinces I'll show you. Now, this is the map of South Africa. 90% of all Indian travelers come here. You ask an Indian traveler or an incentive, you've been to South Africa, unlike Europeans. Europeans call South Africa, Africa. When we go to India, it says, you've been to South Africa? Yes, I've been to Sun City and I've been to Cape Town. Wow. There are 9 provinces. What cities are you from before I insult you? Okay, you're in the right room. So, 9 provinces, ladies and gentlemen. 90% of the people who do incentives in India, they sit here for 5 full days. By the way, I was born here. I was born this. I tell people, Cape Town in the whole of South Africa is the only place you don't need an alarm because the seaweed wakes me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. The smell of the seaweed wakes me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. It is the most visited city, most Instagrammable city. Every MICE corporate says, Cape Town. They don't even think. They don't even go, what do you have? Cape Town. Cape Town. And I'm like, okay, Cape Town. Okay, Cape Town. Now, you are corporates, right? Am I understanding the people that are here are corporates, private companies? Right? MICE companies, MICE corporate companies? Am I right? Yeah, okay. Sorry? Organizers. Operators? Okay. So, gorgeous. Fantastic. Beautiful. Doesn't need to sell itself. Okay? That's my city. That's where I was born. Now, you spend 5 days here. And everybody goes, right? Or everybody goes here. Sun City. Right? Everybody transits here and goes, yeah, you know, this is a bit of a danger thing. We're told it's not safe. We're not sure about Joburg. It doesn't have much. And I'm like, really? I uprooted from here to here. Gauteng, Johannesburg. And I'll come back to you why. Okay? 9 provinces. Western Cape, Cape Town is the city. Friendly people, PE, Port Elizabeth. KwaZulu-Natal, Durban. Okay? Durban. The new best place that has been discovered by the Indian traveler who is leisure, pleasure, FIT. It is the new destination that has come alive in South Africa. It's been there for years, by the way. There's only 1.8 million Indian people living there. Okay, only 1.8. Only the second largest in the world after Mauritius. But that's nowhere there until you're looking for a bloody good curry at the bottom of Cape Town and somebody says, yeah, I'm bringing a chef. And my question, why, when we've got the best curries in the world sitting in the in KwaZulu, in the northern part? And by the way, Indian Ocean, warm water, beautiful, untouristic, affordable, gives you ocean, family, affordability, wildlife, nightlife, culinary. Might not have Table Mountain like we do, because Table Mountain, where I come from, looks like it's falling into my bedroom. That is it. Mpumalanga means where the sun rises. Very few people who do go, they go into Kruger for 2 days, and they think they've discovered the wildlife, and they've discovered Kruger. Okay, so my always advice, so if you're in Kruger National Park and you're spending day 1, this is how the itinerary as the organizers go. Day 1, we land and we have an afternoon game drive. We have an evening game drive. We wake up, we have a breakfast game drive. We have a lunch game drive, and we have an evening game drive. 5 game drives. Whatever lion you saw will not call you by name. Do the game drive. Get out of the game drive. And I'll talk to you. Gauteng, Limpopo, and you'll see, it's just a pity, I don't know how this works. that 80% of the Kruger National Park sits on Limpopo. Very few people do this. Most amazing, gorgeous lodges ever in South Africa, most affordable, incredible. Then obviously you've got Gauteng. Got you. It was a video. Now, facts about South Africa. We already said Vero Corley put out a flash, what is it, WhatsApp, social media ad. South Africa is running out of water. Absolutely. Guess what? The world is running out of water. My son lives in Japan. They don't play football on grass. They play on a sandpit. Why? Saving water. I live in India, and I've seen water tanks delivering water into certain reservoirs, right? Canada has got no water. America is running out of water. Europe is running out of water. But guess what the world does? Global warming happens in Africa, it's a disaster. Global happens in a third world country, it's a disaster. Let it happen in America, it's okay. Because we're dealing with it. We're not going to talk about it. Do we have water in South Africa? Best in the world. Top 5. And I always tell people, when I get into South Africa, the first thing I do, coming from anywhere in the world, I don't touch bottled water. There's no need for me to touch bottled water. I get in, I leave here at 5 o'clock in the morning, I land at 12 o'clock, I don't go into my kitchen, I don't go into my bathroom, I go to the backyard and I open a tap of water and I stand there for about 2-3 minutes and I just drink the water. And when I go to my mother's village, before I enter the village, there's a water stream that's coming under the mountain. I take an empty bottle and I put the bottle underneath. The water's brown. It's stream water, and I drink it. It is like it infuses life because it's as natural as possible. Did we have a water problem in South Africa? Yes, we did. Right now, Johannesburg is flooded. Eastern Cape is flooded. Our dams are sitting at 80 to 100% fullness. You can drink our water from the tap. You don't need to be carrying bottled water. So when you do as organizers and client says, is there a water issue? Because I say a Vero Corley snap. Yes, we did have water problem. What did we learn? We now sit on the advisory board globally and we advise people on the water shortage and how did we get through it. So water, electricity, some people say, well, what's this electricity situation? We hear that we've got a rollout. We hear that there's some issues. We have electricity in our country. I'm going to quickly go through a very short. 25 years ago, it would never been heard of that a South African black woman would be standing here. 25 years. You probably think, what's this got to do with electricity? 25 years ago, South African mainstream citizens, the 90% of the citizens never had electricity, including myself. So when somebody says, you know, we've got a blackout, or did you always have electricity? I only got to see electricity because of, by default, I was adopted into a white family and I got to see electricity. From the age of 0 until the age of 10, electricity was a luxury to me because we were never factored into the mainstream economy for electricity. It was only for the 10% privileged. Does that mean it's right that we've got a bit of a shortage of electricity? Not. That is why we're restructuring as an economy. We're only 25 years old. People say South Africa's been there since the 70s. No, we haven't. South Africa's 25 years old in new democracy because only then were we, some of us, allowed to be part of the economy. We do have electricity. It does work. We have hotels with electricity with silent and non-silent generators. Weather. I say the weather in South Africa is like a woman. You never know what it's going to give you. If you're in Cape Town, it could be 39 degrees. You do 20 kilometers out, there's a thunderstorm. Right now in Johannesburg, loads of rain. Expected it's summer rains. About a month ago, everybody was complaining there was a drought in South Africa. Durban, a couple of weeks ago, months ago, major cyclones, major thunderstorms. We complain. The rivers are full now. Okay? Eastern Cape, different weather. But most of the time, the north, summer rains. The south, most of it, winter. So Cape Town's winter starts in, traditionally, June, July, August, September. October is the windy season. Rain, big time. Windy season, September, Table Mountain closes. You can't even do paragliding. I'm just giving you a highlight, okay? Are we okay? We good? No one sleeping? You okay, sir? Okay. Big five. Everybody knows us for this. Mobile network. Yes, we do have a mobile. We've got Vodacom, which is Vodafone. We've got MTN, we've got Cell C, we've got Virgin, we've got Telkom. And these are the types of electricity that we've got in terms of plugs that you can use. Our currency, absolutely. And we do have credit cards, and they work, and they are globally accepted. It doesn't matter. It's not only these. American Express, whatever ones we use. I'm RBL. I use RBL in South Africa. Right. Okay. Activities. 3,000 activities we have. Adventure. Guess who's the biggest consumer of our activities in the world? India. Biggest consumer of our adventure in South Africa is India. And guess what they sometimes do? I'll tell you a quick story. Woke up one day at 4 o'clock in the morning, going shark diving, as chubby as I am. 2 Indian fellows, beautiful looking, silky, but arrogant, but like, you know what, we've got this. Lots of WhatsApp. Listen, honey, we're going shark diving. I'm like, right, going to see this. We get to the place we need to put on a wetsuit. Wetsuit doesn't fit me. I'm like, I got to get into this, because you know what, if I don't get into this cage, it's going to be like chicken quack quack. Get into the wetsuit top, couldn't get into the bottom, get onto the boat. 2 guys greeted them, very arrogant. They start, I can just see they're not doing well. There's a little bit of like a motion sickness. I'm like, are you guys, while they're at it, 2 minutes later, click, click. Are you guys okay? Yes, okay. Get to the shark, get to the, we were going to do, they throw the feed. I tell you what, that was the last time I saw them. When the feed came out, they were nowhere to be seen. Their hair was not as smooth as it looked. So I called these guys. I said, come here, buddy. You got to make the wife believe you were in this cage. So took some water, splashed a little bit of water, got them to get their hair wet, put some water, and says, now, just pose and pretend you are putting your foot into the cage. Okay, and they did it. It's our secret. I won't even share the names. But the reason I'm telling you this, 3,000 activities, again, 90% of people in my country and in this country, which is this country, they believe this is only available in the Western Cape, Cape Town. So I've just come back from a long holiday back home. I went snorkeling with the sharks, not diving. I went and I snorkeled. You get into the cage, they let it out, they give you your snorkels and your goggles, and you hold on to the fin, and it moves you. And as you are being like jerked around, boom, you hear a wailing sound. By the way, this is in KZN. You hear a high-pitched sound of a dolphin. And you should see the reaction of a dolphin and a shark. It is unbelievable. So while we're all doing shark diving in the south, go snorkeling. Go snorkeling. That is why I'm saying KZN is the new big thing, because they've taken adventure and they've dialed it up and they've taken it to another level. Okay, right. And then we've got, obviously, the sandboarding, the zip lining, the river rafting. Right. I'm going very fast. Sorry. I'm skipping the facts and figures because I will avail this. Now, let's go back. I've just covered, I'm going to skip the Western Cape. Those of you who do organize this, I'm assuming you know Cape Town, right? And I am assuming you all sell Cape Town, right? No? Maybe? Not? Okay. So I'm just going to quickly go through it. Everybody knows the Cape. I'm going to go to the Eastern Cape. Eastern Cape, because of time as well. So I'm trying to maximize and showing you something new. Eastern Cape, the hometown of Nelson Mandela. Okay. Everybody says Mandela, 27 years in Robben Island. The fact that nobody sells Robben Island is another thing. But loads of other countries. Eastern Cape is the home where Nelson Mandela was born. Okay? Beautiful. You're looking for humanity. You're looking for humility. You're looking for a rural experience. Eastern Cape. No high-rise. It's where you get to have dinner with locals and you make dinner with locals. It's where you go and get your milk in a kraal and you can milk it. Your spinach comes from the garden to the table. Your meat comes from the kraal to your table if you're a meat eater. It is where everybody comes home, knocks on your door, uninvited, and somebody will sit down, get up, and give you their plate of food, or they'll share it with you. Unknown. There's no glitz and there's no glamour. It's just humility. People-driven. Home to Nelson Mandela. Unbelievable. The who's who from a wildlife perspective goes here. The royal family, the Tiger Woods, honeymoon was in here. Oprah Winfrey, this is where he goes. Bill Gates, this is where they come to. This is the closest you'll get to a Nelson Mandela experience because he is laid to rest in this province. And everybody stops in Port Elizabeth. They come in, they do Port Elizabeth, nobody goes to the hole in the wall. Rural. It is unbelievable. Edo Elephant Park, incredible. Biggest elephant community in the southern hemisphere. Incredible. Sandboarding, river, dolphin watching, sardine run. Now, in KZN, there's something called a sardine run. Sardine run is, you know sardines, right? Fish. We know that, right? Okay. So what happens at a certain season, they come on shore. And if you're lucky to be there, you take a bucket and you just wait for them to get into your bucket and you lift them and you take the bucket home. And people travel far and beyond for the sardine run. It starts in the Eastern Cape and it goes up north to KwaZulu-Natal. It is incredible. The beach is filled with people like ants because it's the only time you get free fish. Last time you got it was when Jesus came down. It's the only time you get free fish, okay? Sardine run, it's incredible, it's beautiful, cruises. So I'm born in the Cape. My mother is born in the Eastern Cape. I holiday in the KZN. Eastern Cape is my ancestral place. It is where I go and I find peace. It is where I find my space. It is where I find my beginnings, okay? Beautiful game drives, lodges, okay? Incredible. Shamwari, Tiger Woods had his honeymoon here. What is nice about these game lodges, underrated. When you say Kruger and you say Eastern Cape, okay, people are like, no, we want to do Kruger. And I go, okay, well, that's fine. What do you think the price is? Maybe $60,000 for a week. Oh, okay. Is there anything else? Yeah. Yeah. But the best is to come. So it's got game. It's got ocean. Humility. It's where you engage with the rural community. Okay? Now, KwaZulu-Natal. It's the only province or any state in the world that's got two names in it. We call it a surname. KwaZulu is where AmaZulu comes from. AmaZulu is a tribe or a clan. Natal is the colonial word that was given for the name for the province of KwaZulu. Okay? Natal. That's it. So it's in the north. It's warm. Humility. Are you guys humble? Are you humble? No? Okay, okay. Humble. Very humble. It's actually a Mumbai. I tell you why. It's never cold. There's no such thing as a winter in KwaZulu-Natal. Okay? So when I leave here and I go to South Africa and I'm in South Africa in March, I struggle because of the heat. The heat here is so warm. So in Cape, when I go to Cape Town or Joburg, my body needs to acclimatize. If I land with Emirates in KwaZulu-Natal, it feels like I'm on a non-extended holiday because the temperature is as here. It's not only the warmth, the humidity is from here. I'm looking for a good curry, I'll go to KwaZulu-Natal. I always make this analogy. This is water, right? Why would I go to a game reserve here? It means it's man-made, right? This is water. Lots of lateral land. Got a game reserve here. You start coming inland, you go to the north, natural game. What do you have in KwaZulu-Natal? The city of KwaZulu-Natal is Durban. By the way, this was the home of Gandhi. Some people don't know it. He came to South Africa wearing a suit, landed in Joburg. okay, coming to save the Indian business people. It is the same man who gave the baton to Nelson Mandela without even knowing each other on humility. Our philosophies, our principles in life are based on your philosophies of humanity and humility. We have something in South Africa called Ubuntu. I'm going to say it in Xhosa. They say, Umtu ngumtu ngabantu. Simply put, I am who I am because of you. We took that from Gandhi. And that's how the ties bind us. So KwaZulu-Natal was the home of Gandhi. And by the way, his granddaughter still lives here. Durban, the best convention center, in my view, in terms of capacity, KwaZulu-Natal. Sea cruises, incredible, incredible. This is one of the most active provinces you'll get in terms of business and funding. Those of you who organize MICE, those of you who organize incentives, conventions, we've just held the 20,000 World Summit in this province. 20,000 people. As we speak today, we've got an incentive that's about to leave here of about 6,000 to 8,000 people going to the city. When I say to you, this is the new gold of South Africa, it's unknown, it's undiscovered, very few people know about it. The support you get from this provincial tourism board is incredible because they put money and they put their mouth where their money is and the money where their mouth is. So you've got Durban, okay? Shaka Marine, Gateway Theatre, it's a shopping haven. And there's more, okay? Suncoast Casino, this is the normal touristic thing. So here we go. Okay? Hold on. Now, those of you who do incentives, conventions, people say, I want to go to Kruger, I want to bring the wife, I've got an 8-year-old, a 12-year-old. This is probably the only province that allows you to bring children at the age of 12 and they can stay in a game reserve. I've just been, last year around about May, I took 80 buyers from around the world, the region that I look after. So I look after India, I look after Middle East, and I look after Southeast Asia. And in this group was a group from Southeast Asia that did not get to see, so we split the groups up. 20 go to the Cape and they see some Cape Town, another 20 goes to Kruger. It so happened in my group they didn't see the animals. So I have a group of Chinese people who are coming, sweet as they are, and they call Miss Nkani, can we please, we're at Indaba, it was in May, can we please get to see some animals? So I'm like, what? Yeah, everybody else got to see a tiger or the Big Five, and you guys promised and you showed us the Big Five when you came. We're in the middle of Durban, 2 hours away. So I said, okay, fine. Spoke to the tourism board, got into a 22-seater. It was a bit temperate on that day. It was about 20 degrees. We drive 2 hours up, and we go to here. On the way, I am praying that God bring me a lion. Because if I'm driving 2 hours and I don't see a lion, or a rhino, or an elephant, or a cheetah or one of the Big Five, I've got problems. Big problems, because it means I lied, that we've got Big Five. Get there, get to the gate, the guy checks us in, we sign in indemnity. I ask the guy, listen, buddy, I don't care what you do, you need to call the pubs in, because these guys just want to see the Big Five. He says, ma'am, it's around 4 o'clock. We've got a chance, but I can't guarantee. Turns the car, we get into the gate. So we move from literally here, and we're over behind those chairs, and we get over into the gravel road. As we turn around, boom, black rhino. And I said, Jesus, you are here. Absolute silence. You can imagine you've flown 18 hours from Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines. These are the people in my group. And all they want is to see the Big Five. So I say to them, ladies and gentlemen, can we, very softly, tick that we've seen an animal? And there's absolute quiet. Take pictures, and they move 2-3 kilometers, and there's a whirlwind. I don't know if you know what you call it. We call it a whirlwind. It's like a dust, very fast. I don't know what's the English word, but it's like a quick wind, right? I look around, And what do I see? The only thing I can see is the horns of an impala. And the next thing, there's like, shh, 2 lions catching this impala. They twist it, throw it. In less than 5 minutes, they had opened it and killed it. Could not move. There was literally paralysis in the car. The Jeep was quiet. And I thought, oh my God. In South Africa, we call it a life kill. People pay millions to see this. Not the best if you are a humanitarian in terms of animals, but it's a sighting few of us get to see. There's absolute silence. I look at the lady next to me, hung, and is just crying. I'm like, right. And then the guy says, guys, just quite gently, I'm going to move and I'm going to try and turn and go behind this massive tree. And as we get around, we just hear a thud on the trunk. It's an elephant. This is when I thought life is bigger than us. Literally, I am sitting in the car, and this is the boot of the car, and we just hear boo. And that is a lion, and it's the greatest stare I've ever experienced. It actually humbled and made me realize how small I am in life. So, we saw a rhino, 2 lions, an elephant. I just said to the ladies and gentlemen, I think this is our time to go home. And all of this happened here. People fly and they say, we're going to go to Kruger. People fly and they're going to do a Cape Town gaming experience. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where you're taking a family, you're looking for affordability, you're looking to find a natural, authentic wildlife experience. This is the place. KwaZulu-Natal, Durban, 2.5 hours, am I right? 2.5 hours away. Incredible. Life-changing. It is Tanda Game Reserve, it's Pinyong, it's Pinda, it's a Tala game. Natural. There's no fencing, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a fence where it is man-made. It is natural and it's quite elevated. Okay? Super. Then obviously we've got St. Lucia wetlands. Very few people know about this. I'm showing you this because there's nothing more paining than living in India, and I go to these places and comes in a bus of tourists, and in the bus is an Italian group, is a Spanish group, it is the English, it is the Germans, and there's not one bus of Indians. Not one. One, either we are failing you, organizers. 2, you don't know my country. 3, Indians do not appreciate nature, and I don't think the latter applies. I think we're shortchanging you because everybody in India is doing the same thing. There's so much more to South Africa than the South. St. Lucia, hippos, crocodiles. Incredible sunsets, incredible sunrises. 90% of the time to witness this is for free. There's no cost to a sunrise. Then there's Drakensberg Mountains. This we took a few months ago in South Africa with a company called Travel XP. There is nothing like it. There's nothing like the Drakensberg Mountains. If you have not been to the Drakensberg Mountains, you have not arrived in Africa. If you have not been to the Drakensberg Mountains, you have not seen and nor have you discovered Africa, let alone South Africa. It's majestic. It will move your core. This, in certain provinces, will cost you 2,500 to get on a helicopter for 10 minutes. You do this helicopter ride in South Africa, in Drakensberg Mountains, it's 980 for 15 minutes. It's a sight you will never, ever see again in the world. Drakensberg Mountains, it's one place that I continuously. When I am in KZN, it's another 2 hours drive. Okay? What can you do? Heli flip, hot air ballooning, hiking, waterfalls, mountain biking. It's incredible. We're going to be going live with the Travel XP South Africa around the 27th, 29th of February. It will be shown in India. This will be shown. It's the new, undiscovered, unexplored, majestic, never been before visuals of South Africa that are not known. And then we go to Mpumalanga. Capital is Nelspruit. This is where I fault the organizers, the tour operators, the DMCs. Everybody goes to Mpumalanga, and few do this, few do that, few do this. Everybody goes to here. 2 nights. Sitting in the Kruger National Park, hoping to make friends with 2 animals or 3 animals. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful. This is less than 200 or 300 rupees. Same as this, same as this. You're taking a group as an organizer to go to South Africa and you deny them of this. As an organizer, as a corporate, as an employer, you're shortchanging your staff. You're shortchanging your client. Again, I come to this place. God's window. And who do I see? Buses from Europe. The English go mad. They turn to be tomatoes, red. They spend hours, okay, just looking and taking pictures. It costs about 17 to 30 rand, under 200 rupees. The Germans go here. The Swiss go here. Not one bus of an Indian, not one. And I'm sitting and my job is to sell South Africa to Indian people, and my heart breaks. Somebody's got to start selling, and somebody's got to discovering this. And if somebody is selling you anything but this and you're at the Kruger, you got to demand this. We call this the Blind Canyon, but over here, literally here, you sit and you watch this, and there's a boat that comes down, and it goes past, and there's a forever resort. This is attainable, it is doable, it is easy, it is affordable. Picnics and crafts, people go and sit here. Blind Canyon. Potholes, same. Literally can spend an entire afternoon sitting here and putting your feet down and having some snack and just enjoying it. This is the potholes. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not an ad. This is real life. You can literally sit here. It's not an ad. Most people say, oh, that's an advert. No, no, no. As chubby as I am, I sat there. Okay. And as scared of I am of heights, I sat there. It's just that we're not allowed in my company to sell pictures of ourselves because they think that I'm promoting my brand. I'm a civil servant. If you're not doing this, and there's an organizer selling you an incentive, and they're taking you to Kruger, and they don't put this, tell them I want it. I deserve to see it. And you do deserve to see this, okay? And then we talk about Limpopo, 80% of the Kruger, we've spoken about it. We've got the best game lodges. Right now, they're about to launch a train lodge. Train lodge is a train that sits on rail tracks, and on this is a huge pylon, and there's this round swimming pool. It's the only one in the world, okay? That's the Kruger. Now, let me take you to where everybody's petrified of going. Gauteng. Okay, did you do Gauteng? Joburg? So when you think of Joburg, what comes to your mind? Honestly, don't be worried, it's okay. You were chased? You think of crime, right? Okay, it's Joburg. Everybody says, no, yeah, it's not safe. You know, don't want to go to Joburg. I get it. Do you think it would have happened in New York? London? Okay. So you've given me some nice tips. So born in Cape Town, me personally, lived in Holland, lived in Brazil, lived in Germany, told myself I can't, I could never do Joburg. It's just, no, can't. Exactly the same fear. Life happened. Someone said, step into Joburg and see what happens. I took my bags, went to Pretoria. First thing, I was so annoyed because Gauteng has got the second largest number of diplomats in the world, right? The largest sits in Washington, D.C. The second largest are in this province, Pretoria. And I asked myself, okay, if we're such a bad state, why would Donald Trump have a consulate the size of Bandra? Because he takes up an entire 3 to 4 blocks. Joburg, the Americans have a consulate, followed by, if not equal to, the Chinese. They have a huge consulate, slap bang in the middle of Sandton. And you can look right through it, by the way. It's not a dungeon or a big high walled where you can't see. You can see right through it. You can literally walk like this and see through it. Indian consulate, Sandton. I'm making this analogy. If our country, our province was so dangerous, Sandton has got consulates, Pretoria has got the embassies. Not the south, and it's 134 of them are sitting in this city. Okay? It's huge. Why do I love it? Social cohesion. If you're from South Africa, and you'll know, if you're looking for a nice hit or a nice gig or a nice opportunity, where do you go? Joburg. So one province where your race does not matter. Doesn't matter if you're Hindi, doesn't matter if you're Gujarat, doesn't matter if you're black, if you're Xhosa or Zulu or what you call a colored community. It is where life happens. And it starts like this. Are you good? Can I help you? People greet you without even knowing your name. It is the one place where people acknowledge you that, listen, my name is Neliswa, how can I help you? Where you come from is irrelevant. You're getting lost in Johannesburg, somebody will extend a hand. Nobody is a stranger, okay? So we've got the Apartheid Museum, Nelson Mandela, Cradle of Humankind, and the Soweto House of Mandela. This is the museum, must do, very affordable. Shopping, 90% of the hotels that sit in around, 90% of the people that sit in around, the hotels that sit in around this give you shopping vouchers. So when you're taking a group of 100, you can demand to a hotel, say, listen, can you give me for some shopping vouchers? I'm on to you. Right. City of Tshwane, I moved here. Your 134 embassies are in this backyard. Exactly where I'm sitting here, right here. Nelson Mandela was born in the Eastern Cape, caught in KwaZulu-Natal, imprisoned in the Western Cape, freed and inaugurated here, chose to die here. He laid in this exact spot for 5 full days because he wanted the world to see that, you know what, because apartheid started in this province and it ended in this province. This is the union buildings, right? I'm almost done, sir. This is what the union buildings, the capital of South Africa, this is our other parliament. And then October, it's called Jacaranda City. The entire city, the entire region is purple. Just a quick one. For those of you who are in incentives, who are in MICE, this is the support we give you. Okay? We assist with the bidding strategy, bid document, we lobby, we promote. Those of you who are wanting us to come in and bid and pitch on the destination or help us sell, we do that. Site inspection, we offer you, we pay for your recce, we pay for tickets to come, 2 or 3, we sometimes pay for flights, depending. We also give you on-site, on-ground support, delegate boosting, on-site event services. This is our South African Tourism India. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry to take a little bit long.
No, that's fine.